From the nosebleeds to the studio, I'm your host, LJ. And this is going to be just a brief little update episode. I haven't done one of these in a while, but as you can see, we got some new magic news to announce that I did want to share my opinion on real quick. This is actually from a couple years ago, but funny enough, this is a little bit of foreshadowing. Um, Seems like it. But for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about already, the Orlando Magic did a rebrand recently of their logos, their jerseys, the court, the whole nine. And honestly, it was pretty good. Honestly, it's along the lines of what we expected. I think as fans, what we were clamoring for on online and everything like that. My nitpicks, I guess, would say is kind of always been the nitpick of just kind of the jerseys of everybody recently is just the font, you know. But I think that's kind of just being nitpicky if we're being honest. So overall, this is from the Orlando Magic website themselves. Um, this was the first kind of this is the three main jerseys. We got the home jersey, we got the away jersey, and then we got the alternate there. The edition to come soon. We're waiting on that one. But man, I mean, let me know what you guys think. I personally, like I said, I'm a fan. Definitely brings the classic vibes back, which I think is ultimately the goal. You know, I think that was the whole goal with this new rebrand is like blend the old with the new. I think they did a great job of that. This specific one is causing a lot of controversy um, amongst the fan base, and I think it's just because the little two tone black and blue. But if you look at it, they did it to pay homage to the Shaq and Penny days. They had those starter, the big starter jackets, and that was kind of the design of the starter jacket. A lighter blue, but overall still the same kind of design there. So I'm a fan of what they did. To be honest with you, we got the home one again. All these are very nice. I do like that we have our road now is back to being blue instead of the black. Not that I don't like the black, but recently over the years it's been weird having the black as the main road jersey. I kind of miss having the blue, especially just from nostalgia purposes from like early 2000s era when I um bought all my jerseys and stuff really. So I guess that's probably a little bit of it, but overall, man, huge fan of it. Just a couple more images to show you here. We got the primary icon. So like I mentioned, kind of similar to the one that they put out a couple years ago. Again, this was from a couple years ago, but this is actually like the OG classic primary logo. So again, you see the new one, pretty much the same, just less stars on it. It got 5 stars versus the amount that are here. So really overall the main difference in that. And then overall I think the blue is just darker tonally than it has been in recent past. Um it's kind of like what most people think of when they get magic blue, but it has always been kind of hard to get that magic blue. I think now I think we're there with it's just a royal, it's just a royal blue, but I think it works just the same, honestly. And then we got the little worded logos there, alternate. The one thing I will say it is missing. It's the little star on the eye, because if you look from the jerseys from back in the day, they do have the star replacing the A and then above the I as well. So I think that is a little bit missing. There was mock-ups on the city edition that is going to come out on that one, which again I do think is a little weird if they notice it and they put it on that. But why not just put it on these? But according to mocks, these jerseys were submitted a couple of seasons ago, so it could have been they were just maybe an oversight. Who knows? Who knows? But again, overall, I think it's a great rebrand. I think it was time. These it's the first rebrand since I believe 2009, 2010. That's when we switched to what we previously had, which is the more still had the pinstripes, but a little more boxy lettering, kind of plain, no stars. That was kind of the new era of kind of where jerseys were going at the time. I'm glad now that we're getting back to a little bit more of the roots and embracing the team logos and stuff like that. I think that every team needs to be doing that. To be completely honest with you, just because I really don't see the alternative in not doing it. I don't think it really benefits very well, but that's just me. And one more picture to show you here. We got the court. Just giving it a second here. There we go. All right. So we got the court there. And again, big fan of what this is going to be like in a person, but based on this mock-up itself, it does look very good. There was some behind the scene photos that I got, but the angle wasn't quite good. Is the best way to put it. You could see it, but I feel like just showing this picture, you get a better idea of what it's going to be like. So try to get a better picture later on. But honestly, I think this explains it very well. So yeah, again, overall, big fan of the rebrand. I think it was long overdue. Little tweaks here and there, but I think that's just with anything you can look at it and kind of come to that conclusion. So overall, again, super happy with the rebrand as a whole. And I hope everybody else is too. These new jerseys are going to start flying off the walls, I'm sure. So again, this is just overall a good thing for the Magic. And I think what got me most excited about it is the attention that this rebrand got on social media and just media in general. A lot of people were talking about it, not just Magic fans. And that's a step in the right direction. I think we're definitely getting somewhere when that's the case. So, shout out to y'all. Kudos to y'all for that, because that was good. All right. But yeah, that's pretty much covers that for today. I did want to discuss briefly about kind of some off-season ideas and plans that they may go, but we'll be right back and we will discuss that. All right, just had to get a sip of water there for a second. All right, so off-season plans for the Magic. Now, it's a little tricky because you kind of fall into the trap of, well, we weren't fully healthy, maybe we should run it back and see what we got, and then before we make a move. We don't have that time or the luxury of time per se to keep doing that. We've been doing that, especially this whole era, this whole Weltman era. I think it's time, man. I think it's time. We got to make a move now on either getting that next player, getting that huge splash, or I don't know, man, figuring it out, because it's either now or never. And I mean never, because eventually with the new apron rules, it's going to get to the point once we're paying Paolo, Franz, and Suggs the contracts that they're going to be getting, we really can't build much of a team around them, which means eventually we're going to have to end up cutting one of them, and that's a big loss. Now, I know that goes to my earlier kind of point of, well, Suggs was hurt last year, so maybe we should just run it back with him, see how far we get, and then make moves. But then again, that lessens the timeline of how much money and how much maneuvering we can actually do to compete. And I think that's going to be the main issue that the team needs to look at now and resolve. KCP, while he was a great veteran presence, the amount that we were paying him for what he produced on the court wasn't enough. I do love how he's writing for the team, so part of me wants to give him a chance for that. But that's a contract we need to look at. Jonathan Isaac, we got to look at that contract. Got to think about offloading him. And man, the biggest thing is trying to cash in on the draft picks that we do got, the little bit of cap space that we got now, or that we can make. Let me say that. And just try to maneuver for a Darius Garland, for I don't know. There's plenty of different options out there that we can at least try to go for. I think standing pat is just the wrong move. Garland sticks out as like the biggest nail, you know what I'm saying? Nail to get hammered, simply because of just how that Cavs season ended. I don't think they'll trade him. They want to trade him to us, which will be the problem. I don't want to overpay for somebody like Garland, but Anthony Simons, he'd been linked to us for a while. Got the name actually named after Penny Hardaway from this area. So from Clearwater area, I believe it was. Not Clearwater, Orlando, sorry. But man, I think overall that is going to be the move that we need to do. We need to try to get. I'm stuck on the point guard because for the simple fact that yes, Paolo and Franz handle the ball, but they handle it because they have to. And while Suggs showed flashes last season, I do think he's better off the ball. We need someone that can get his own shot, but can really set up others. We really need that. I still wonder why we haven't or aren't going to re-sign Markelle Fultz. I think that's a missed opportunity there. But again, that's just me. Overall, it seems like there's a lot of rumors that we're going to do something, and that worries me. Working as a freelancer for them and being a fan as long as I've been a fan, rumors don't get leaked out. So all these rumors are kind of people making up stuff for the most part, and usually it doesn't bode well. But we can hope that will not be the case this time around. But man, honestly, again, pretty much I just want to give a little Magic update real quick for you guys. Don't do too much of these episodes, but we're going to start doing more of them. Just, be honest with you, just hearing the sound of my own voice gets a little boring. So I like to have people to bounce it off. So let me know what you think. Maybe doing these live and then just interacting with the comments. I think might be a more interactive way of doing these little news segments where I'm one-on-one. I think that'd be a better way to go about it. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know other ways to kind of get you guys engaged, get you guys involved. And like, share, subscribe. Just ask that, personal favor from your boy. And, again, thank you guys for always tuning in. And we will be back later on this week, hopefully with another group episode or episode with somebody else. But if not, we'll do a couple more of these update episodes. Either way, we'll be back this week. NBA Finals Game 3 tonight. So actually, I did want to talk about that tomorrow. Man, if you're a fan of basketball, it's a Game 2 is but seems like it's going to be a pretty good series. Tyrese Halliburton putting it on for everybody with an ugly jump shot. So shout out to Tyrese for that. But yeah, man, just stay tuned. again, thank you guys for always tuning in. And